Okay, Corey, here's Kyle from the other night. Just wanted to remind you that we worked on front leg stabilizing and not letting that knee drift too far over the toe or bend so far that he doesn't brace up anything. The first lesson that I saw him in, I think if you review the first video, you'll see how his front leg continues to drift out and the hips just continue to move out. At some point, you need to stabilize the front leg so that the hips stabilize and the body can rotate over the hips. Let's just speed him up here to get him to the spot where we need him. This takes a little time here because it was running. So basically what we had him do was just, get up into his leg lift, and then as he strides out, you notice how he strides out really high here? He doesn't have to do this too much. He doesn't have to lift the foot up so high. He just has to drive from the backside here, push off and push straight so he doesn't lift and leap so much. That kind of thing is just because that kind of lift he has is only because he doesn't really shift his hips too far. And then he kind of reaches with the foot. See that reach? That's okay though for now. Well, we can fix it another time. The most important thing here is that when he gets into landing, right there, that he remembers to use strength in the leg right there. And it's easy to do when you're not following through and pushing over with this back leg and then letting the body fall over. It's a little easier to do standing like this and just striding out and then stopping. But once he turns the upper body and, he starts to come forward with the leg, that's when he needs to brace up. So that's why we did some of those exercises where he was striding into front foot plant and he was kind of holding himself and just jumping into his front leg, so he can catch the weight. That's really good. I think you can continue to work on that with him a little bit. So let's watch what he does. I think he has to do it again. That's when he turns the foot. So I had him reach out with the leg. Let me just back up a little bit here. So he strides out. He reaches out. Now he turns the back foot, the next step, so that he can release the hips. He can get the hips going forward. And then from this position here, he's going to sit on his foot here and then push over the leg so that the knee doesn't continue to sink and drop out this way. So let's see what he does when he pushes over. So we want to keep an eye on this foot to see if it slides and the front knee to see if it goes past this line. Okay, so do you see that? See how it continues as his body is moving forward? See how his knee continues to drift? It continues to drift out. So front knee continues to drift. Should stop right here. Shouldn't really move. That foot shouldn't turn. It's only turning because he landed too closed off. If he lands that straight, he won't have to turn the foot and the knee won't move. See how that knee has to move to straighten out? So the front knee kind of swivels. If he lands straight, that's the position that the front knee will be in, and it'll be a lot easier for him to brace the knee so that it won't continue to drift past that line. And the reason why we don't want that to happen is so that the arm doesn't take too much stress. Because if the lower body does not use the ground forces right, then the ground forces don't get up through the body to help turn his upper body. So eventually he has to overcompensate with the upper body here and the arm to throw the ball. So he has to overcompensate, and he doesn't really react to the lower body. The upper body doesn't really come flying over the leg because there's no power pushing back this way from the ground into him. So he's just going to overcompensate with the chest and lean forward, and then he has to overcompensate with the arm and release the ball way out there instead of the body reacting quicker and the upper body reacting sooner and then just thrusting over so that the arm will lay back and then come forward. So that's why we want to brace up the front legs. That's just something he can work on. Work on stabilizing the front leg a little bit better, landing the foot so that it doesn't twist like this, so that it lands straighter like that, and then he's just about to, ready to brace up. All right, so in essence, this foot should actually, the knee should actually be kind of extending back towards his body, not drifting this way. All right, so one step at a time. He's going to do very well. He's going to do very well. All right, I will see you next week.